right, She-Hulk, episode 4, right? Yeah, I believe so. Episode 4. So you may notice I didn't do a review of last week's episode. Well, first of all, that's partially because of technical difficulties on my end. Not gonna get into that. Um, but also because I didn't want to talk about it. I did not want to talk about it, and we're not going to talk about it. But overall, man, I'm enjoying this show. Um, Believe it or not, I'm enjoying this show. I really am. I think it's entertaining. I think it's funny. Um, the cameos are great, and I actually like Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk. I really do. I like the character. Now, I me personally, I didn't get into really any She-Hulk comic books. I don't know shit about She-Hulk as a character, right, in the comics or anything. She, from what I can recall, she didn't even really appear in a whole lot of mediums outside of the comic books. I don't remember her in any cartoons or anything like that. So, needless to say, I am very unfamiliar with the character of She-Hulk. Um, so this is kind of like my first interaction with any sort of medium with the She-Hulk character. As a matter of fact, my little brother, he asked me, he was like, since when was there a female Hulk? he, he was like, did they just create her for the show? Like, nah, bro, she been around for years. Um, but yeah, so I say that to say I don't have a reference from the comics or anything like that to compare um, this version to. It's just enjoying it for what it is, which I know is weird for most people. Like, who does that? We're supposed to critique everything, but one man stepped stepped away from the crowd and decided to enjoy things. Um, but again, I am enjoying this episode. I mean, this show so far. Minus one little minor hiccup that we're not going to discuss. Uh, but other overall, I am enjoying this show. Um, as far as characters are concerned, well, first of all, let's talk about the show. Let's talk about the episode. It's another Wong episode. As a matter of fact, this is pretty much the Wong episode where he is actually suing another magician who used to be, who used to be at Carmitage and was a student of the mystic arts. What do you say, like a day or something like that? And he's opening portals and shit for his magic show. Trying to get that bread, trying to earn a living. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, get that bag. But you know, Wong being the sorcerer supreme, of course, um, that can cause a problem. So I was wondering what the correlation with the Madison character was. You probably seen her in the trailers. Um, the Madison character was attending, this magician's show whose name was Donnie Blaze. Really thought this man said Johnny Blaze for a second. I really did. But attending this guy's show, he portals her one first to another dimension, and then some demon portals her to Wong's, to Carmitage, to Wong's room, right? And once he finds out it's this Donnie Blaze guy, he decides he wants to sue Donnie Blaze. So, that's pretty much where the episode went, right? And the side story or whatever was Jennifer trying to date, and then she puts her profile up as She-Hulk, and then she ends up getting a bunch of dates. Actually, ended up getting some butt toward the end of the episode. So I think the best parts of this episode, of course, obviously, was Wong. Um, Everybody loves Wong, and I like the fourth wall breaks. How she keeps, mentioning how everybody is tuning in to see Wong. She's not wrong. That rhymed. And she's there. She's aware of that, right? And it like to me, I like the self awareness of the show because she even mentioned like having Wong or at least give us Twitter armor for this week for this episode. Um, and I think they knew that there would be um, a lot of people that had a lot to say about this show. Um, Simply because of the nature of it, um, because of the silliness, some of the humor, um, and the fact that some people they just don't connect with a female led series or um, movie sometimes, especially when um, the messaging the messaging of this is what women have to go through when the messaging is just so out there in your face a lot of times, right? Like I said in a previous review, it makes sense the way that they're doing it in this show. Um, but like I said, and I think that's why a lot of people didn't like Captain Marvel because it had a lot of those similar um, that a lot of that similar messaging in it. This is what women have to go through, and I don't think a lot of people really connect with that. Um, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? It's nice to see. It's nice to see um, shows, especially that are connected to the MCU, shows and movies. You know that actually tell things from a different perspective. Yes, sometimes you can be a little bit more subtle with it. I'm talking to you, the writers of Falcon and Winter Soldier. You can definitely be a little more subtle with it. Um, but at the same time, like showing that reality, you know, if it's actually reality for certain, for certain people, but showing that reality, um, I don't see a problem with that. I don't. So, at the end of the day, episode ends with the Donnie Blaze guy. He lets in a bunch of these little demons from another dimension. Looked like it was probably hell. I don't know. Lets in a bunch of demons from this little hell like dimension, and Wong has to come in and save the day, and you know uh, teleports all these little demons actually to the Himalayas. These sorcerers, they love the Himalayas. Um, I'm guessing. I mean, obviously, since they came from a hell-like dimension, being in the extreme cold like that probably killed them off. But so obviously that was the plan. But Wong has to come in, save the day. Um, She-Hulk, she has to come in and help out, and she takes the opportunity to get an agreement that they will follow their cease and desist requests. Since he let in a bunch of you know interdimensional demons into our world. But yeah, like I said, overall, I am enjoying this show. I don't get, to me personally, I don't get the hate for this show. I see a lot of, not a lot, but I see a fair number of videos online that I don't watch, um, that are really just putting down this show, or at least, it seemingly putting down this show and using it as an indicator of, the MCU losing its touch, so to speak. I don't see it that way. Um, they're trying new things. You know, yeah, we're a few shows in, but this whole Disney Plus series thing is still new, right? This is not something that the MCU has a lot of history with, right? Interconnected shows. The one show that they had was Agents of Shield, and that was a good show, but it's whole different format. Um, so again, I'm finding things that I enjoy about these shows, except Moon Knight. I hated Moon Knight, but I am enjoying these shows. I'm enjoying She-Hulk, and I'm just here for the stories, man. I'm here for the stories. I want to see where things go. I want to see how things are connected. That's what makes me maybe fall in love with the MCU in the first place. And you know, I don't think you can go wrong with that. I mean, of course, obviously you can, but I think that's part of the reason why I didn't like Moon Knight. It wasn't really that well connected to anything else. Um, I'm okay with things standing on their own and not necessarily being too interconnected. Um, but I just didn't like Moon Knight. I did not enjoy that show at all. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode of She-Hulk. Are you enjoying this show, or are you a part of the group that thinks that this is the bane of the MCU and the MCU is dead because of shows like this? Let me know in the comments below where your head is at with this particular show, and hopefully you enjoyed. Talk to you next time.